We're going to answer this question before us, and what a fun question it looks like. So as you can see, this is a Year 12 question again, taken from 2018, multiple choice question 13. It says, in a particular scoring game, there are 2 boxes of marbles, and a player must randomly select 1 marble from each box. The first box contains 4 white marbles and 2 red marbles. The second box contains 2 white marbles and 3 red marbles. Each white marble scores -2 points, and each red marble scores +3 points. The points obtained from the 2 marbles are randomly selected by a player and added together to obtain a final score. What is the probability that the final score is equal to +1? Okie dokes. So how can we approach this question here? So what we're going to think of is a tree diagram. So as you can see, we've got 2 boxes. We've got 2 boxes, the first box and the second box. The points obtained from 2 boxes are the points obtained from the 2 marbles randomly selected by a player are added together to obtain the final score. So we've kind of got our first box and we've got our second box. In our first box, we can either get a white marble or a red marble. Now, the probability of getting a white marble from our first box is going to be 4 on 6, and the probability of getting a red marble will be 2 on 6. Then we go to our second box, where we've got W and red again, W and red. The probability of getting a white marble from the second box is going to be 2 on 5, because there are 2, 3, so 2 plus 3 is 5, and there are 2 of them there. And then the probability of getting a red marble, well, there are 3 red marbles out of a total of 5. And then for this one right here, so this is going to be the same, isn't it? Because it's not conditional in any sense. If you pulled out a red marble from your first box, that isn't going to change what's happening here. So this is still 2 on 5 and 3 on 5. I think that's an important point, so let me just pause for a second, just in case I didn't make that clear enough. If you pull out a white marble from the first box, it doesn't affect the probability of you pulling out a white or a red from the second. So too, if you pulled out a red marble from the first box, it makes no difference to the probability of pulling a white or a red from the second. So that's why 2 on 5 and 3 on 5 are the same on whether or not you pulled out a white or a red from the first one. Okay, so that's kind of the thinking behind there. Now, once you've got this, you've got to ask yourself the question, what's the probability that the final score will be +1? Okay, so how could we get +1 here? Okay, so let's just think of what each of these things mean. So getting a white means you -2. So -2, -2, -2. Then, let me get another color here. Let's go green. The probability, a red marble gets you +3. So +3, +3, +3. So what's the probability of you pulling out something and getting a +1 out? All right, well, -2 and -2 is -4. This way looks good. That way would get you what you want, because -2 plus 3 is +1. This way would get you what you want. So getting a red than a white, because 3 minus 2 is +1. 3 plus 3 is 6, so that's no good. So that means what we want here is the probability of W red. So 4 on 6 times 3 on 5. And then we want the probability, oh, just a bit higher up, sorry, the probability of red and white. So that's going to be 2 on 6 times 2 on 5. 2 on 6 and 2 on 5. Then we do some little bit of maths here. 3 4s are 12, 6 5s are 30, 2 2s are 4, 6 5s are 30. So that means that the final answer here, once we do everything, is going to be 12 plus, we're going to add these together. And when we add them together, we're going to get 12 plus 4 is 16 on 30. And then we should try to simplify these, both of which can be divided by 2. This is the same thing as 8 on 15. And is that one of our answers? Sure is, 8 on 15. Hopefully that made sense on how I approached this question here. And before I leave, let me just do one more thing to make it even clearer. Let me get this color. If you went here, you would end up with -4. If you went here, you'd end up with +1. If you went here, you'd end up with +1. If you went here, you'd end up with +6. Just to make it very clear as to why I chose these 2 pathways there. All right. See ya.